Where'd Matt go?
Okay.
Yeah,
No, come on.
you asked for it.
I got the recap ready.
You better be.
Shut up, Rob.
Oh.
When last we left our party, they were taking a well-earned rest after simultaneously thwarting an invasion from another nation and resolving a draconic civil war. They had settled their debts, began retrofitting a new ship, developed new spells, gone shopping, managed their troops, invited farmers, hired a very muscular wizard, and opened Elchic Minos, to name just a few of the many things they did. Ott set Elchic Minos looking into the state of affairs on the other side of the continent, and learned some vague details, including the worrying news that the cult of Zernas had followers high up in the military of Idrath, the capital city over there. Francisca arrived as the new ambassador for Dragon's Rest, and Zeltar started avoiding her and hiding in his lair for some reason. After some investigation, the party discovered that his previous master had been a powerful fae who Francisca had been acquainted with, and that she had cursed Zeltar so that if he ever revealed her secrets, he would die. With very little persuading, Francisca agreed to help fix the situation and set off back to her lair to do some research. In the meantime, a teenage tiefling called Fortitude arrived on the island and demanded an audience with Virtuosos. When the party agreed to see him, it became immediately apparent that he was a member of the cult of Zernas, and the party arrested him. When Erlan used a charm person spell to interrogate him, the party learned his story and that he'd been an orphan left to die on the streets of Riposte, and that Zernas had saved him and given him power in exchange for service. The party decided to look into ways of severing his connection to Zernas so that they could potentially rehabilitate him. In the meantime, the item that Fortitude had bought was a crystal eye, which the party recognized would allow them to converse with Zernas via dreams. And the party, when we finished the session, was determining who would go and speak with him. We'll start the session sort of in a nebulous time while you are all sat down preparing to go to bed and deciding who would like to be the one to sleep with the eye near to them. It can be as many or as few people as you would like. If you want, all of you can go. But as far as you are aware, Zernas is going to try to speak to some of you tonight.
No.
Group hallucination. Let's go.
I'll do it.
Let's go. Group
Ott actually did
session.
volunteer last session, so
I won't
Okay.
do it then. I changed my mind.
Ott has very suddenly changed his mind.
How about me and Hyar can do it? It being that we're saying group session.
I mean, all of you can if you want.
I just noticed, Nick, you're not on this. You're not in the game.
He's not even in the fucking
Oh, yeah.
game.
Sorry, I had the screen open. I just didn't quite launch.
It's
There you
okay.
go.
Sarah only just joined, so you can blame her for that as well.
It did come up with an error when I was joining, so it's fine.
I
Fucking
think there's been
amateurs.
some updates.
Very
or something.
convincing excuse.
I actually did find a really
I hate
cool
the way
thing,
it
which
keeps
is
loading in dark mode.
on the sidebar where the chat is. There's a icon that looks like an information eye. That's the compendium. You can literally Google basically anything, like any monster or magic item or spell via that.
Oh yeah, it's all built in.
Anal circumference.
Not a stat in this game.
Damn.
Different game.
Yeah,
Make it
this isn't Corruption of Champions.
Not yet, it isn't.
Never will be if I have any say over it. Maybe
You
when
love that
someone
game.
else
Don't
DMs.
kid yourself.
Okay, so Erlan is not feeling especially up to this meeting. He is quite upset by the tragic story of the young man that he just interrogated.
That's
Give
fine.
him wine.
Thus he's taking his name out of the hat.
Well, I guess it'll be me and Hayaka then.
Okay. Nick, are you happy with that?
Yep. I did just load up my notes, and the last thing I wrote was Art chooses to be the one who goes to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's no longer true.
It's no longer true.
He decided against it. He was like, no.
Okay.
He
I'll
said
take his
yes,
place.
and then within the minute, he went, actually no.
A minute that felt like a month and a half.
It did feel like a month and a half.
Yes. this. It's weird how
Wow.
time works.
Frozen in time.
I will quickly put on some music to set the mood, and then we can describe as, I guess, like, I don't know, do you want like bunk beds for
Yeah.
this?
I'm not sharing a bed.
What?
Okay.
No homo.
Yolia's a
How
woman.
I was gonna say, I'm fucking female,
Um,
you pleb.
None
She's
at
too
all.
old for you.
Yeah,
No, not.
ageism.
Isn't he like in his 40s as
On
well?
either.
She
Yeah, I
looks
think
too
you're
old
both
for
in
him.
your
Don't
40s.
I look like I'm in my 80s or something? Because my
Oh,
No, Yolia
reincarnation-
looks like she's in her like 60s because
Oh.
she sacrificed some of her life to bring you back.
I just look a slightly same shade
I
of
think
blue.
you're just like in your 40s or something.
Yeah,
Fine,
we're both in our
fine.
40s.
fine, I'll do it.
You'll do it. Are you going to
Really?
join as
What are
well?
you doing?
Damn it now.
It's
Is
now
he
a
kicking-
triple
he's
decker
kicking me
bunk
out of bed.
Top and tail. That's all I know.
Okay. So Art crawls into bed with Hyarkin. And
Yeah, for the
Yolia
record,
takes
I'm
the
40
top bunk.
apparently.
I look at Risa and say, you might as well just join us.
No, I got a paddle board with a ball going bop, 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 bop.
This is what she's doing instead of
Oh, no.
Sleeping.
going to sleep. Risu stays up the entire night playing with a paddleboard.
I was like, I ain't going into hellscape nightmares.
Joke's on you,
But-
Hyarkin. Odds 300.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Hmm.
Right.
I'll make sure nothing bad happens to you guys on this side.
Okay. You place the crystalline eye upon like a bedside table and all drift off into an uneasy sleep. For a while, you do not dream until eventually, when all three of you have fallen into your slumber, your dreams begin to merge, and you all find yourselves lying in bed as you are in the real world. When suddenly you feel a hand reach out and grasp you by the collar, pulling you violently upwards out of your beds and through the ceiling, launching you into the sky, which approaches you rapidly, like a wall, only for you to suddenly crash through it and be left floating weightless in a sea of kaleidoscopic colours. Eventually, the sensation of weight returns to you all, and you find yourselves stood upon a disc, disorientatingly rotating in some realm beyond your knowledge. Colours swirl and bleed into one another as you can see a vast emptiness above you, and a great eye opens in the void, its pupil somehow seeming to stare at each of you simultaneously. A now familiar voice echoes out from the eye, bouncing off of non-existent walls, seeming to come from everywhere at once. Hello, fate touched, or should I call you virtuosos now?
I'd rather you call us nothing.
You do not see any facial expression from the eye, but you imagine a smirk. And the eye will say, "Do not waste your time trying anything foolish right now. This is only a dream, and I am as safe from you as you are from me. I've called you all here, with, I suppose, two notable exceptions, to speak with you one last time. Frankly, and I'll keep it short, I give up. I've tried all that I can think of to keep you from interfering with me, and you've crushed it all. I've tried distracting you, but you seem predestined to end up in the right place regardless. I've tried threatening you, and you are suicidally driven to fight against anything that comes in your way, no matter what it may be. I try to pull you between places, and you quite literally appear in both places at once. The only option left to me is to negotiate. Tell me what it is that you wish for, and I will see it given to you. All I ask in return is that you stay away from Nexus."
Can I make an insight check?
I will allow you to try and roll with very heavy disadvantage, given that this is a dream and you're not talking to something with a face.
A 15.
15. Is there anything specific you're trying to get a read on here?
His trying to get a read on his authenticity and what he's saying, and an idea of why he's saying it, why he's trying to stop us from going to Nexus.
Okay. I mean, there isn't really much to read in terms of expression, and the voice is like heavily modulated and echoing and bouncing across all the walls, so it's hard to read intention into it. So instead you're sort of reduced to trying to logically deduce what you think his reasoning might be. And so like running back through the things you remember that you were told a long time ago that Zernas was gathering his forces in Nexus, and that was the one of the two epicenters of the calamity that put the world in the state it's in so long ago. The other one being Dragon's Rest. As to why he's suddenly reaching out to you, the only things which occur to you are either he's genuinely scared of you, or he's genuinely close to accomplishing whatever his actual goal is. And the only thing that matters to him now is Nexus.
Okay.
And he will, like, seeing as none of you have, like, stepped up and been like, I want $1 million! He will say, I could offer you unimaginable wealth. I could grant you knowledge and power. I could hand you your neighbor's lands on a silver platter to conquer. Just tell me what it is that you want, and stay out of my way.
Well, what we would want is for you to leave this world and forever be banished back into the realm in which you come from. But I'm sure you won't accept that one.
I'm sure you must be motivated by more than just that. I'm coming here. Well, I'm not coming anywhere, am I? But I'm speaking to you now in the interest of peace. We don't need to fight.
While there might not be a need, until you have agreed to what we want, we will continue to fight.
What are Art and Hyarkin thinking at the moment?
I'm just thinking his reverse psychology won't work on us. We don't want anything from him. And we won't accept anything from him.
Are you like thinking this really loudly, like he might be able to read my mind?
Well, I guess he can anyway, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And Art, is there anything in particular that you are thinking about?
Ott's not convinced by his deal to give us lots of money.
Why should we trust this guy?
Yeah, why should we trust our enemy all of a sudden? And Ott's kind of focus is on the real world and not money given from the dark sources.
Okay.
I'm also thinking that the way he's phrased this is that he's actually a bit worried about us because he knows that we're a lot stronger than he would like. And he keeps saying every time I've tried to come up with something, you're always there and you always stop it. So he knows we're going to go to Nexus and he knows we're going to beat him. So he's just panicking.
So,
really.
I've just made a roll to see how well he can read you guys and got a nat 20. So,
nice.
Plus what though, Logan? You know,
Thank God it's
small
opposite
birds
day.
Don't.
Thank God it's opposite day. So he I think he would probably pick on like the most open to this suggestion thus far, which has been Ott, who's just kind of dubious about his authenticity. And Ott specifically, you would hear his voice say, "You doubt that I might deliver my promises to you. You've spoken with members of my cult, and I've always given them what they have asked for. They have had power and money and fame and whatever else they desired in exchange for service. To you, I am offering a much more lenient deal. You don't need to do anything for me. You just need to not do something."
Ott's not convinced at all because despite Zanas's kind of, I don't know, is he using like? I'm thinking
There's no enchantment to his words. You're not compelled to listen to him
okay.
at all. This is just, you can hear something, and the circumstances are very unsettling. I think Nick, as like a planar expert, and given that you already have some knowledge about Zernas, you would probably have figured out that while this might not literally be the Far Realm, which is the like alternate universe that Zernas is from, it's clearly meant to be like some sort of depiction of it, which is why it's so unsettling. Alright, sorry Rob, I interrupted you.
That's okay. I was just saying, Ott's not convinced that anything Zernas can give him is of value.
Okay. So, Zernas will now speak to all of you and say, "There is truly nothing in this world that you wish for, nothing that you have fought to accomplish, nothing that you have fought to build." And the endless void begins to change and manifests into an image of Higher Kingdom.
Is Risu there popping her pad?
This is more like an image of it like during
Aw.
daytime. I imagine all of you would be there like managing and overseeing like construction work on like the new farms that are being set up and such. Or El Chicminos, or the new tavern that's being built.
Is he threatening the kingdom? Or is he just showing it to us?
He hasn't said any sort of threat to you. He is... I think as far as you're able to reason, he is trying to get a read on whether or not, like, he can potentially bribe you with something to do with Higher Kingdom.
Listen, we're happy with the progress that we're making. There's no fun in getting things handed to you without any effort on your own part. So we don't need your help, no matter what you say to us. Begone, demon.
Okay. The image vanishes and returns to the swirling kaleidoscope of colours on your rotating disc. And Zernas says, "I confess I didn't hold out much hope. You haven't been reasonable thus far. It was perhaps idealistic of me to think you might suddenly change. In that case, if I cannot bribe you, I will warn you. I'm gathering my followers. They're abandoning their posts and destroying their strongholds across the continent as we speak. Soon they shall all converge upon Nexus. Should you be foolish enough to come and interfere with me now, I shall bring the full might of my wrath upon you, no matter what the cost is. I shall not allow you any chance to ruin all that I have so painstakingly prepared. Stay away from Nexus, or perish." And
Cool.
those
See you at
final
Nexus.
words...
I choose perish.
I was going to say, with those final
See you
words,
there, dude.
you begin to feel the dream slip, and you have one chance to say some cool final one-liner before the dream ends.
That was mine. See you there, dude.
Okay.
Ot says I just perish.
All your picks her nose.
It's good. I just like I'm there like. Meh.
With that final warning, you're all cast from this realm and sent hurtling back down through the sky and into your beds, where you awaken the following morning. Risu is bloodshot eyes, awake, barely like making this small paddleboard like occasionally bounce now. Good news, Risu. All of your friends appear to have slept peacefully throughout the night.
I wouldn't call it peacefully. We had a kind of
from
weird
her
dream.
perspective, like, you didn't explode into magical energy
Oh,
or
okay.
anything.
We still exist.
I
And we
just
don't
look
have
at
bags under our eyes.
I just look at Risa as she looks exhausted, and I'm like, I'm pretty certain if you just slept in a different room, you wouldn't have been transported away into some dream.
Sarah there, she's muted at the minute.
Is she being stinky?
Yeah, I thought my drawing at the same time would get annoying. I said I had a high score to beat Bap with my paddleboard.
But
Did you beat your high? In fact, no. Make an acrobatics roll for me. See if you beat your high score.
Okay.
First roll of the night. Well, actually, no, it isn't because Alex did an insight check.
Yeah.
26.
25.
God,
That's
26.
26. Wow,
That's
yeah,
what
Damn.
mine
you,
does.
you got a score of about 600. Just like a perfect run for like about 4 consecutive hours.
And no one was awake to see it.
No one was aware. No one will believe you.
Oh.
You can recreate
tries
it while we're having breakfast.
She's like, watch me do it, guys. I could totally do 600 again.
The paddle is like
1, 2, 3,
splintered
boom.
and broken.
Like, yeah, sure, you can. Give her a head pat and walk off.
Okay.
Sure you can, kid.
You go to the dining area and you have a breakfast where Erlan asks you what your dream was and asks you to explain everything to him.
Yeah, so we just basically say, oh, he tried to convince us to give up our mission, essentially, to for anything that we wished. Obviously, we all said no.
Okay, well, I'll make an insight check with disadvantage for him. See what he makes of it. 16. Yeah, he doesn't really have any extra insight other than what you thought.
Who was that?
Erlan.
Oh, alright.
Did he sleep okay?
Yeah, he slept like a log. I mean, he at one point was awakened by the guards who told him that his charm person spell had worn off and that now the prisoner was swearing angrily. And he was like, yeah, that'll happen. And just sort of rolled back over and went to sleep.
After having something to eat, I grab some food and I head back to the dungeons to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, he's still wearing the mage binding armor that just sort of makes like he's been given like some breakfast and it's just sort of like plain bread and water. It's nothing exciting.
Wait, where were we sleeping? Where we got? Where we had that dream? Was it us?
I assume like in one of the spare rooms in the keep.
Oh right. For some reason I thought it was like a cell next door to the.
I slept in a cell if you want.
No, I thought that's.
I thought you would have liked to have slept in like a nice bed.
No, I thought it was like the closeness. What's the word? Well, anyway, closeness to the prisoner with the eye on his forehead.
No, he gave you a physical like crystal in the shape of an eye.
Right. That makes sense. Sorry.
Which, by the way, has shattered now. Same as the last one you had, it seems to shatter after a single use. Yeah, I mean, the prisoner is just like sort of very slowly struggling to eat the bread in like his awkward situation. Looks up at you and says, "For fuck's sake, what do you want?"
I basically sit down next to him and start trying to feed him the food to make it easier for him, so he's not struggling.
Make a persuasion check for me with disadvantage.
What's my persuasion? 7. So not very good.
Yeah, he's just like, he feels undignified by it and like tries to bat your hand away and like struggles against it. He's like, I can fucking feed myself, and I'd be able to feed myself better if you got this stupid armor off of me.
Yeah, but you'd also be able to escape, which we don't want.
That was a bit impactful when the music stopped, and then Logan was being a dweeb.
He is a dweeb. He's like just like a scrawny, angry teenager.
Oh.
And I basically turn around and say, I spoke to your boss last night. Told us just tried to convince us for he'd give us anything we want if we just stayed away from Nexus.
And we said
Yep.
we would do it.
No.
No, just kidding.
Make an insight check for me, Alex.
I thought you were going to ask Art
just
then.
an insight, yeah.
Yeah, just insight.
Only a 10 this time.
Actually beats his deception. He kind of looks like he is trying to appear disinterested, but he's like very closely hanging on your every word.
Again, just explain, like, you know, he said he'd give us anything we wanted, money, power, anything. All we had to do was stay away from Nexus. I look at him and say,
He shrugs and says, "Sounds like an easy deal."
an easy deal that comes with a heavy price of this world's destruction.
What did he offer him, by the way?
Power.
Basically, yeah, power. Quite literally just made him a warlock, and like the kid was about to starve to death, so without said power he would have died. That's why
Wow.
the kid is so loyal to Xernas.
How's that power
Yeah.
going for you? He's been pinned to the floor by a big chest plate.
Yeah. I mean, what he said last session was he came here ready to die. He was basically of a mood of like, well, I should have died 6 months ago. I've had a good run of it. If my payment for this is finally like up, and at least this way I get to go out on my own terms. And now he feels kind of emasculated because now he isn't even allowed to die. He's just been captured and locked in a dungeon.
I want to give him the Undertale experience and make him feel incredibly filled with life.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. I'll think of something.
Okay.
Anyway, I continue and say, we obviously declined his offer.
Or did we? Smile.
I literally, if you're behind me, I just pick up a rock on the floor and fling it at you, trying to smack you in the head to shut you up.
Attack roll.
Oh.
I want to know if I actually said smile.
Without proficiency, just plus your dexterity. You're not proficient in rock.
Oh, enough. Definitely enough. It was 17 plus 6.
Yeah, I'm guessing that beats your armor class.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get pinged in the head by a rock.
Ow.
Shut up a
1
minute.
point of damage.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
And I basically just look at him and say, because in the end, even though we're going on to a difficult mission, it will help millions of others.
So make one last insight check.
A 12 this time.
You're not 100% sure this kid actually cares about the value of human life. As far as you know from his backstory, he's just like a really angsty teenager who's like, the world never did anything for me. Why should I care about it? I think that, like, with your insight, that's about what you get.
What about your parents? Do they not
Well,
love
parents,
you?
he's an orphan.
His parents are dead.
Don't
He's
say
a
that to
fucking
him.
orphan.
Can I retcon and not say that?
Yeah, sure. We can, you know that he doesn't have parents.
I forgot. Ott's brain just melted a little bit.
Uh-huh. It's
I
almost
just,
like a month and a half passed in the space of 5 minutes.
yeah. I basically look and say, we're not even from this world, and we're looking to try and do what we can to protect it because it's what the right thing to do is.
He
And with that, I just sit up and turn to walk away.
Okay. He opened his mouth to say something rude, and then you got up and left, and he just sort of shrugged and went back to struggling to eat his food.
Is he struggling because of the armor plate? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got like these really like huge like crab claw mittens on it as well.
Sort
Like
of prevent him
the
from like
yeah,
using spells.
the armor is meant to prevent you from like being able to move properly, so that you can't like do the gestures required to cast spells. So
Man, I should get someone over from Eldritch Mino just to spoon feed this guy. Treated like an imprisoned
like you
kid.
guys don't learn this lesson. He feels pretty emasculated as it is right now.
Oh, that'll make it worse. Yeah, I see now.
So, Yolia, I'm guessing you return to the Yolia and Art, I'm guessing you return to the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Okay. When you go upstairs, I will ask Ot a question, because last session, obviously, you had Eldritch Minos look into its first assignment and came back with some information about like how the Court of Zernas had infiltrated like some of the upper echelons of the military in Idrath and had been like major players behind this invasion that you just thwarted. And at the time, you asked Eldritch Minos to like continue looking into it and see about like whether or not they could get you any names. Obviously, no time has passed since then, but then this kid arrived, and you guys were deciding whether or not to look into how you might break his pact with Zernas. Is that something you would like to divert Eldritch Minos to, or is that something you guys would like to look into personally, or what?
Is it what do you say Eldritch Mino is currently doing?
It's currently trying to look into more detail into like how much the Cult of Zernas has infiltrated the upper echelons in the Dragonborn and Human Nation on the other side of the continent.
Okay.
But they haven't really like, you literally gave them that assignment like yesterday
hour ago, yeah.
evening, so they haven't done anything towards that yet.
How long does it take? Like a couple of weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Everything takes 2 weeks. The good thing about your network, Eldritch Minos, is you don't need to physically be present for that. Doing research in Hierarchin's Tower, for example, requires Hierarchin to be physically there to do research. But your information network is fairly self-organized.
Okay. I would like to keep it on its current track, and maybe make that the next objective.
Sure.
Because at the very worst, we can have a prisoner of war.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather keep him alive and make him like free of his spellbinding at a later point, and
Okay.
and not destroy that, and be able to continue on with the The present mission, I don't want to kind of switch things around too much.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like Elchik Minos is the only way that you can gather information. You have other allies, or you can look into this sort of stuff yourself if you want to go
Yeah.
out and research it.
What about the other cities, like the people doing research there?
Well, I mean, you're aware of several magical universities. You've visited at least two. There's one in the Citadel of the Moon where you know Virtue currently is. The last you heard of him was a few weeks ago. He said he was going to look into what Zernas might actually be planning in Nexus. The alternative is there is I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, like the Ascendant's Keep or something in Bulwark. No, in Phalanx, the magical university there.
Okay.
What's he doing in Phalanx? Just so I can refresh my memory on that.
Currently, that's just a magical university. Virtue is at the University of the Prismatic Shard, which is in the Citadel of the Moon, where he used to be a student before he met you guys, and he was looking into like going back over his old notes of Nexus because there was some things that he didn't remember after he got kidnapped, and he thinks that maybe he can get some insight into what Zernas might be planning. But you haven't caught up with him in a few weeks.
So he's in Citadel of the Moon.
Yes.
We don't have a. Do we have a direct teleportation
You
there?
have a teleport there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to kind of refer that to the party. So I'm just going to say, so we want to look at, well, I think we want to look at like potential for other routes that we can gather information on, more specifically, what Zernas is planning on the other side of, well, in Nexus and the other side of the Absent Range. Obviously, we have Virtue and the Prismatic Shard, blah blah blah, who can help us out with that. Do you reckon it's a smart idea to take a detour on from whatever we have planned next to have him looking into Zernas's plans?
I mean, there's also the other thing that you were potentially going to research was Yolia asked you about researching Seraphine's mission to erase the cloud barrier that blocked any light to the surface.
Oh yeah.
So that's another potential thing that may be worth researching. Cough, cough, another side quest.
Side quest, cool. Yeah. So I'm just noting all this. I think for now we're probably, well, I'm gonna again put this to the rest of the party. I think it's best putting the cloud barrier lower down on the list, and like it's a kind of a would like. I'm not sure how much difference it will make for now. I really screw with people if we don't give them a bit of forewarning as well. If we suddenly remove the clouds. I think it would be prudent to us to have better insight into Zernas's plans, especially since it seems like he's trying to intervene with what we're doing. Yeah, like he seems like he's nervous, and if we can get some insight into what his plans are, and even use our then new knowledge to intervene in whatever he's up to. What do you all think? I'll take advice of Bolognese.
Yeah,
Sarah,
I think The clouds barrier is kind of a lower priority. Go and see Virtue again and find out what he was planning. He
See
was
our boy.
saying something like he'd been to Nexus before and he'd been writing down notes of places to go there, hadn't he, or something?
Yeah, so before you met him, he'd wanted to go on an expedition to Nexus in order to research the Calamity. And then you adventured with him for a while, and he kind of became aware of how like woefully inadequate he was for that sort of journey.
Oh, I was going to say we ruined his plans, but it sounds like that was for the best.
Yeah, not high enough level to go to the end game zone.
Yeah.
And
we slowed him
then
down
he
a bit.
got kidnapped, and now he's come back, and he's sort of like looking through his old notes and being like, "Huh, feels like my memory of some of this has been erased. Let me look into it and see what specifically has been erased, because maybe that's important."
I would say fire him a message. See if he's
You
had
have
any
sending.
breakthroughs. Yeah.
I mean, we could. Do we want a full-on conversation with him?
I mean, just ask if there's any breakthrough or anything. Like, if there's.
Just any breakthroughs in your research?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And should we come to listen?
Do you want us to visit?
Do you want,
Put
do
the
you
kettle
want, do you
on.
want your friendies round?
You're gonna cast sending. I believe it's 25 words, Rob.
Pretty much what I said. Okay, I'll try and do the 25 words.
I mean, you can do less if you want.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm gonna nail 25 words. Hey. That's 3. How's research? Your boys are interested in where you're at. Let us know. Shall we come over? Is that 20 or is that 30?
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
definitely not 30.
No, that's right. It's 20. And then, see you soon.
Question mark.
Bye bye.
25.
There you go.
Oh, I was. Question mark is 2 words. Was my thing.
Oh.
If you write
it.
Okay, yeah. You get a response back saying, "Hey."
I didn't expect that.
I
I'm glad he's got his sense
actually
of humour back.
sent you a letter, but I guess it hasn't arrived yet.
Oh, lost in transit.
I've made some progress. Sure. And that's
What?
exactly 25 words.
Nice.
Okay.
Love it.
My God.
All right. Should we head on over, guys?
Let me get my scones.
Get your scones.
Get
all
your
get
scones.
get your pies off the windowsill. Get your
Mhm.
bread
Get all
from
your-
the prisoner.
Get me your paddle boards.
Take it from the prison.
Risu has been baking during the last 2 weeks.
Gotta scale up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you have the teleportation circle. I'm going to ask. I shouldn't remind you, but Rob, are you going to call ahead?
Please do.
Don't
You
bother.
have a list of names, all from the esteemed Spellman family, of the communicators in various cities who you could forewarn about
Right.
your
Hang
arrival.
on, let me mark off that spell, that sending spell that I just used.
I think
Message?
a 3rd level slot.
Oh.
I think.
No, yep. 3rd level sending, yep. That's 1. Well, I've already used 1. Well, it'd be a waste to use another.
Fair.
Oh my days.
Okay, you ready to jump in, guys?
Well, if
Okay.
Virtue's got any sense, he might go for the heads up.
I mean, if you want to like give him some time.
Yeah, okay, we'll give him 30 minutes.
Okay, you take half an hour, take like one last wander around the around Higher Kingdom, check on everything. The foreman actually like approaches you and says, "Oh, hey, with our latest lumber delivery, a letter came through for you from your friend Virtue." And you're like, "Yeah, we know, we've already got it." And the foreman says, "Are you guys gonna look into like getting an actual like communicator at some point and like hiring someone to deal with this sort of thing? Because I'm like a construction foreman.
Well, you're doing a good job. Carry on.
Yeah.
He looks
Great
at
work.
you
Pats him on
dead
the
in the eyes and says, "What is my name?"
Is it
Jimmy the postman.
Is it Philip? No, wait, hang on. What did you say he does? Lumberjacking?
He is a tiefling who is the foreman of the construction company.
Can I roll
which
an insight
is-
check? Do I know his name?
Roll an intelligence check to see if
Roll
you remember
intelligence.
it.
Did we ever get it?
At some point, you will have been told.
Oh,
I don't have either foreman or tiefling in my notes, so yeah, no help from me. His name's going in.
You want to roll an
Insight?
intelligence check, see if you remember it?
I'll do it. Oh, it's a.
Where is it?
It's
Unskilled
it's
intelligence.
unskilled there.
Oh, on the other page.
There it is.
Nat 20.
Yeah, I know his
Oh.
name.
Well, there we go. I found it. Let's see whether I know his name as well. 5.
Uh,
I thought as much.
Arkin draws a complete blank. However, Ott, as
Whisper it to me.
you actually do have the message
I have
cantrip,
message.
so
I'm,
you
I'm
could do that.
absolutely using message.
Yeah. As the head
I
of
look
a
at in
spy
panic.
network, you, of course, have been keeping tabs on all of the comings and goings from the island, and you are well aware that this man's name is Temperance.
Temperance.
that's certainly not Jerry.
No, tieflings always have edgy names.
Temperance or
Temperance.
Temperance,
It's
okay.
like patience.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I absolutely knew his name. Yeah, I'll message. Yeah, actually no.
Message Hyarkin.
In fact, I
Hyarkin,
can message. I can message everyone because it's a cantrip.
Yeah, but you have to do it
So-
one at a time.
Yeah, that's fine. Message.
Yeah.
Message.
And
Hyarkin.
I just shout up, yeah, of
Hot
course
dog.
I know your name. It's Temperance.
He grunts and goes, "All right, I wasn't expecting you to remember," and walks off.
I'm offended.
You didn't remember.
I
I do now.
Yeah.
It's in my notes, so I will remember.
Mhm.
There you go.
As everyone he walks off talking to everyone, I come past and go, "Hi, random tiefling number 712."
Oh. So, Fortitude was the other tiefling.
Yeah, Fortitude is the one in your prison.
Yeah. Prisoner. Okay.
Good job you didn't say his name was Fortitude.
He probably knows who Fortitude is.
That's what
Everyone
I
on this
thought.
island, yeah.
If you,
I mean,
if you
he's
mistook
met
me for him.
Oh,
he told
yeah.
you about him.
Yeah.
And so you teleport to the Citadel of the Moon. I'm just going to make a few attack rolls.
You say it was a lumberjack, Temperance?
Foreman
Foreman.
for the construction firm that's building your island.
did I hear attack rolls?
And
Yes.
also a postman.
Yes.
Because
Why?
no one told them, so they
Nat
attacked.
20.
Oh,
Wait, Virtue, come on, man. This is the
Okay.
most notice I've ever given.
So, an arrow flies at Yolya. You can
What?
just catch it. I'm not even going to make you roll. An arrow flies at Hyarkin, and that will be your nat 20.
And I can just catch it.
Unfortunately not, unless you can catch nat 20s. An arrow will fly at Risu and will be a 16 to hit.
I
And
think I'm
an
fine.
arrow will fly at Ott and be a 24 to hit.
I am fine.
These
So
arrows
I'm-
come flying and everyone gets hit except for me and Risu. Risu ducks down. I just grab it. I'm like,
So,
Yeah, mine hit. Mine landed, I mean.
13 damage to Ott. You can uncanny dodge if you would like.
Yeah.
And 21 damage to Hyarkin
Oh my god.
Oh,
from the nat 20.
Can he dodge?
Hey.
I
As
just realised
crossbow
I need
bolts
to-
fly at you as you come through the thing. And then,
Wait, we did take a long rest, didn't we? We got full health.
yeah,
now.
you've got full
Yeah.
health and everything.
these guys
Oh,
are getting
shots.
better at the whole defending thing.
Yeah.
And,
We're preparing them.
Like,
Training.
Training.
yeah, once they see who you are, and clearly, like, being shot hasn't broken any sort of illusion that would reveal you to be imposters, they're like, oh, for fuck's sake! We keep
They're
telling
just
you
doing
to
their
call
job.
us ahead. You do it sometimes.
Keeping you on your toes.
You're welcome.
Harkin with like a crossbow bolt in your head chest. And
He's fine.
oh, you've been shot in the leg.
He's died before.
You say that was half 13.
Yeah, if you half it, round down.
Round down, cool.
I don't think you'll need to keep track of hit points too badly. I'm not planning on ambushing you here. But eventually you explain that you are here to see Virtue, and the communicator who you should have got in contact with goes, oh, right, yeah, your student friend. But he's probably up in his dorm or somewhere. You know where it is, don't you?
Yeah. Did he not tell you we were coming?
No?
Damn.
No, normally it's you that tells me when you're coming.
Well, I'd already let someone know there. I thought you'd do the rest of the work.
Look, my job is that I'm a communicator. I'm meant to, send and receive messages like, hey, important dignitaries are going to come through the teleportation circle in 10 minutes time. Don't shoot them.
Exactly.
I expect to
mean,
die
like,
next time.
Okay.
Don't say that.
Your defense is a paw.
I mean, he points at the crossbow bolt sticking out of Hyarkin's chest and says, that would have killed most people. I think you guys are just kind of weird.
I keep the crossbow bolt in my chest as
Mhm.
pride.
You're going to just walk around with it for
I'm
the
just
rest
going to
of the
walk around
day.
with it.
Okay.
We've got to set
now.
up like some sort of imaginary Morse code.
gonna-
Imaginary.
Well, it's-
Imaginary
well,
Morse code.
What?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Just you
It's all
using your
imaginary.
message spell.
What?
Just beep, 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 beep in your head.
Yeah, just let them know. Let
He
them know they're
means he
coming.
needs to set up a telegram system that isn't going to cost him using sending
Yeah,
all
I
the
only
time.
have 2 level 3s, and one of them
Yeah.
I'd already spent on Virtue. I was like, well, I don't want to spend the other.
Well, I mean, maybe when you get home, you might want to look into hiring a communicator who can, at least if you are coming from home, send and receive messages for you.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, I know. Spending his level 3 spell slots doesn't sound any cheaper than spending mine.
It's the same as like hiring Chad Wizardly. Like he's you can hire like people who are guild trained rather than being just like full wizards. They're more like tradesmen who are only skilled at doing this one thing. So he'd like be able to cast it as a ritual or something. It wouldn't cost like thousands of gold.
Oh, okay.
In
Send a
any
recommendation.
case, you I mean, if you want, you can ask for recommendations while you're here. But I was going to say you find your way to Virtue's dormitory, and knocking on the door, you hear him be like, just a minute, and like hear the like clattering of like extremely loud pots and pans. A like cat like hisses and rushes out of the room. Then he opens the door and sees you all and goes, "Oh, hey! Didn't expect you so soon.
Is he not
Hi."
surprised that I've got a crossbow bolt in my
He's
chest?
used to it, man. Like he adventured with you guys for a while. You fought vampires and shit.
Oh yeah, I
He
pull it
knows
out
what
my
you're
chest
about.
and hand it to him.
Man, I miss fighting.
Good to see you too.
He like looks at like the blood stain on your shirt and is like, "You look great, Hyarkin."
As we walk into the room, I hand him the crossbow bolt icon and says, "Here's a present, I guess."
I go into his bathroom and clean all the blood off.
Okay.
I got scones.
Christian comes in with
Oh, God.
stones on the bed.
You've
got
like just been
God.
carrying a
What
tray
a
of
chaotic
them.
greeting.
I like to imagine you blocked your crossbow bolt with the tray and then like managed to keep the scones from falling everywhere.
Is there a crossbow bolt in the scone?
There's like a
Yeah, in one of
dent in
them.
the tray.
Okay. I can dig
And
that.
yeah, Virtue's like, oh okay, I'll like clear a coffee table, I guess. And like he opens the door for you, and you guys see that it looks like a fucking bomb has gone off in this room. There's like notes scattered everywhere. It's Charlie Day investigating Pepe Sylvia,
Oh,
like
God. He's been busy.
red string connecting documents on cork boards.
Is this what
He's
I
like,
think you're referring to?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But it's like the classic conspiracy theorist thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, ignore the mess. Most of it is irrelevant, as it turns out. I thought there was a big conspiracy involving the mailman. Turns out that was a red herring.
Out of curiosity, can Ott produce flame with his cantrip without it moving, like it just be in his hands?
Yes, produce flame. If you have the cantrip, produce flame. Yeah, you can
Oh
just like
right, no.
hold
that
fire
case.
in your hand.
So I couldn't just use. Look. I couldn't use. What the? Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Ignore me.
What cantrip do you
I
have?
was thinking chromatic orb, but that's a. Can I?
It's a first level spell.
What are you trying to do?
I'll be like, so all this is irrelevant, and just like produce fire.
I mean, you can like pull out a tinderbox. You can light a torch if you want.
Oh, you should have lighted the crossbow bolt while it was still in my chest.
Cauterize
look
the
cool.
wound.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Don't worry.
Virtue looks at you and says, "Please don't set my room on fire. I know it's messy, but like I've been busy, man.
Virtue, you've got a problem. We need to help you.
Look, I thought you were going to be like, oh, hey, you seem so much more lively than last time we met. Like,
Yeah,
you
you
know, I've been
do.
doing great.
You do sound very lively, Virtue.
Yeah.
You don't look it.
Thanks. Thanks. I've missed you too, Art.
I shake his hand.
He shakes your hand and just like awkwardly turns around and walks over to like a coffee table that's like stacked up with documents, and he just sort of like lifts this messy pile and puts it on top of another messy pile that's on like a desk, and is like, I've made some space on a coffee table now, and like gingerly takes the tray of scones off of Risu and like lays them out for you and goes,
How good do they look?
would you all like tea? Or I mean, I don't have a teapot here. I'd have to go down the hall to get some from the cafeteria, but
Yes, I'll have a tea. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh, this reminds me. Hey, Virtue. Next time we let you know that we're on our way, mind just mind just giving our little friends downstairs a little nudge and a wink and a nudge kind of thing. Just give a little bit of a hey. By the way, yeah.
that 20, he realizes why you got shot now. He goes, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize I was meant to do that. I thought that like
it's okay. It's okay. Just for next time.
He's
Don't
still a bit
need to
slow then.
apologise. Just
he casts Cure Wounds on Hyarkin. You will get back.
Finally,
Hang on.
I've been bleeding out for the past 10 minutes.
spewing blood.
You
out
will
his
get
shoulder.
back 8 hit
Blood
points.
everywhere. Okay.
Cheers, mate. Yeah.
Now I sit down and eat a scone and wait for my tea.
He goes, look, you guys are the like powerful magicians. I'm not. Hang on. He
You got
casts
legs,
Cure
haven't
Wounds
you?
again.
Come on.
You regain 5 hit points, Art.
Oh, thank you.
He's like, congrats. That's me, like, basically wiped out for the day now. Thanks, guys. I really
Well
hope I
done.
don't get a paper cut or anything.
That is a problem.
That's right. I
Do
waste a
hospitals
first level
exist?
slot.
Like, surely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's normally you would go to the temple for like major injuries, where there's clerics.
Oh, okay. But if he had like a paper cut, like he could just like pop his,
He's a bard. He
Yeah.
can do some minor healing himself.
get some turmeric out, rub it in,
Mhm.
business.
and he will like finally. In fact, no, he will look to all the rest of you and be like, "Okay, so that's 1 tea. Does anyone else want anything when I go to the cafeteria?" Or
Tea.
Erlan's like, "Do they serve wine?" He's like, "They don't serve wine in the university cafeteria here." And I was like, "I bought my own. It's fine."
Do they do jungle juice?
No, they do
Damn.
not do jungle juice.
Okay. No,
What
I'll
kind of
I'll
Risu
settle with
wants
water.
tea as well.
What kind of student dorm is this?
He
No
looks
squash?
at. They don't serve alcohol in the student cafeteria.
Oh, jungle
Like-
juice is not alcohol. It's just raspberry squash and orange squash mixed together.
No, it isn't. You liar.
What?
Airport jungle juice.
What?
Jungle
You've
juice
never-
is just a mixture of everyone's drinks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Airport jungle juice is the
How many
It's a
times have you had
giant
jungle juice and not realised what you had?
I felt very sick.
I'm not surprised.
And you thought it was just a mix of 2 juices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering
Okay.
what juice is made.
Anyway.
Anyway.
You can tell
So-
Bob is a very innocent boy.
He Virtue looks over to Yolya. It's like, Yolya, do you want like tea or anything that a cafeteria would serve?
I like that you had to add that.
Specific.
A tea will be fine. Yeah. Do you want to
Okay,
hand for
3
this?
teas, and he leaves. And you guys
Never
are
to be
left
seen again.
alone
He didn't- he
in the
didn't-
bomb
He
site of a
didn't
room.
hear my question.
I just wanted water.
He's trying to get away, man.
No.
Okay,
My
what was
boy.
your question going to be?
Did he want a hand with it?
He's fine with 3
He's
teas.
already gone. He's outside having a smoke.
Yeah, but can I
Yeah.
can I come with my water on the side as well? Come on. I hope my water's coming.
You missed your chance.
Fuck.
And yeah, you guys are left alone in the bomb site of a room for a little while. You know, have some scones. They're a
Can
little
we
bit dry
try and
without
decipher
anything to
anything that
drink.
he's been looking at?
Absolutely, make an investigation check for me.
Sure. I thought
Yep.
maybe I would understand some of it.
Can we figure out like which is the important
Before he
stuff
gets
and
back.
like hide it?
No. He's on another level than me.
I mean,
With
the
an
thing
11.
is, like, it just feels like so much of it is irrelevant. Like,
Hmm.
a lot of it isn't even about Nexus. Some of it, like, appears to, like, pertain to storm giants. Some of it appears to pertain to, like, historical cities in like the western skies. Like, there seems to be this whole thread about like a mailman working here in the university who may or may not be like in on some sort of conspiracy to try and hide information from Virtue, and then that just sort of seems to peter off into nothing. And while you are like looking through all of this, Virtue arrives carrying a non-dented tray with with like a teapot and a bunch of cups, and was like, turns out it's just easier to like get a pot and let you guys sort yourselves out. He says, I have fantasy condensed milk. If anyone
I
it's
ask
it's
what-
milk,
what
but someone
specifically
cast freezing
makes it
ray on it,
fantasy.
so
Oh, okay.
that's how they
Interesting.
preserve it. We got a wizard to just cast freezing ray on the
Is he
milk.
just in a factory constantly doing that to every piece of milk? that
Look,
comes past
everyone
on the
needs a
conveyor
job,
belt?
including people who go to Wizard University
Wow.
and
Learn
only learn
ice
one
magic.
cantrip.
Imagine going
Just to
through
learn
wizard
ice magic.
school just to work in in Costa.
Hey, you got that potato
But
guy.
that's
who's like a
realistic,
potato.
frankly.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people from uni who have done much worse than Costa.
Sorry, imaginary
Um,
Costa.
Anyway, beside the
Yeah,
point.
fancy cost.
Fancy Costa.
Eldrick Minos. So yeah, he sets down the tea and like begins pouring drinks for everyone and goes, so, yeah, my investigation. For a while, it took me a little while to just get reacquainted with all of my old research. I kind of had to reread everything, and then there was a case of like, oh, what do I not remember because my memory was erased, and what do I not remember because I had severe PTSD, and then I kind of got sidetracked. I thought that there was a conspiracy. Turns out I was just being a little bit paranoid. There is no conspiracy. I owe an apology to the mailman.
What did you do?
Yeah,
what I
elaborate.
did I might have followed him for a few days.
What were you
did-
hoping to find?
Well, it doesn't matter. He's innocent. We
Okay.
discovered this. He's innocent. His wife is a lovely woman, and
Um,
I thought you got a bit sidetracked.
what on earth did you end up doing?
well, I accused him of being a member of the cult of Zernas.
In front of his wife?
Yes.
Oh, so you didn't actually? Oh, so you didn't have sex with his wife?
No, no. I mean,
That came
they're
after.
happily married.
And you didn't catch him doing it with someone else, no? Okay. That's
No, I thought I might have, like,
Getting some
so
dirt on
I was following him, trying to like dig up dirt, and look, I owe him an
Oh my
apology.
God.
That's it. That's not important. Okay, let's just back to the actual like world-ending conspiracy. And he pulls up what is like a very old. I hesitate to call it a map because it's clearly not super accurate. It's like an old like explorer's journal where they've like mapped it out themselves, but half of it seems to like be embellished with lies or whatever to like make the journal like more dramatized and more exciting to readers for like a commercial market. And he goes, "This isn't an ideal map. Unfortunately, one just simply does not exist for Nexus. It's not exactly an easy place to get to, even if you lived on the other side of the continent without the absent range in the way." Sorry, did I not put you on the Citadel of the Moon map?
No.
My
Sorry,
mistake.
No.
I've been looking at the Citadel of the Moon map this entire
This
time.
has all been inside our head. We never actually teleported yet.
Okay.
We're still
There we go.
dreaming. We're with Zernas.
We're just
Damn
dreaming.
it.
It's all been a dream. No, he pulls out this map and like it's very pretty to look at, but it's not a super useful map. What you can see is it appears to be like a much more a very different sort of layout to any sort of city that you've seen thus far. It's all laid out in like a grid format, like this, modern, like technologically advanced city, like all planned out before it was ever built. And um, he points out 4 different locations and says, "Okay, so from my memories, and keep in mind this is still fallible. Maybe I don't remember this because my memory was erased. Maybe that's because this was something important to Zernas. Maybe that's because I had a lot of PTSD. Maybe it's just because I'm not actually apparently very good at my job. Um, but I've got 4 places where I think are of particular interest, and I'm guessing at least one of them is going to be what Zernas is after." And he points out 2 in the center of the city, and one sort of in the northeast, and one in the southwest. The one of the ones in the center, he points out, appears to be a very large building with like this illustration of a very beautiful book above it. And he says, "This is the Royal Archives. It was a library back before the calamity, where the king of the city used to keep all sorts of magical knowledge that he had. And of course, Colossus magic was, frankly, it made us, even in our current day, look like a bunch of children playing with matches. So if there is any sort of important knowledge, there's a decent chance that you may find it there. Um, any of the surviving texts would need translating, probably, but I imagine either yourselves or a group like the Cult of Zernas probably wouldn't struggle too much with translating some old books. I'm sorry, the music has stopped.
What did you say that was a map of?
This is a map of Nexus that he's showing you.
Okay.
What language are they in?
They will be in Colossus. which was the civilization that ruled the world before the calamity. Very, very powerful magicians who were half giants, basically. And
Wait, sorry, did you say it was Nexus was called Colossus before, or this whole?
no, the
world?
race that was in charge of Nexus. Nexus was a Colossus city.
Oh, okay.
They were like the masters of this enormous continent-spanning empire, and then with the calamity, they all died. But Nexus was their capital, along with Dragon's Rest. And he will point to the next one, which is in the southeast of the city. And he will say, "This is the King's Sanctuary." Looking at my notes, I believe this was some sort of emergency shelter for use by the royal family. And I think that if the Colossi designed it, it's probably nigh impregnable. But, who knows what might be within there. I seriously doubt that it's just a shelter for, surviving. I think that it may have also been storage for maybe powerful magical artifacts, or perhaps important forbidden texts. Who knows? No one has ever managed to get in and see it, and frankly, no one has even tried an expedition to Nexus in centuries. So, next up, and he points up to the northeast of the city. He says, "This is the development tower. It appears to have been a research facility for any sort of the cutting-edge magical advancements that were done in Nexus at the height of their power. If there is anything important that the Colossi discovered, this is probably where it will have been discovered. And the last place, but not the least," and he points to a large black circle right in the center of the map, and he says, "Ground Zero. This place is completely wrapped in magical storms, and we have absolutely no knowledge of what is there, because no one has ever attempted to explore it and come back alive. We believe this is where the final confrontation between Mithra and the aberration Farazdoon took place at the end of the calamity. And it's possible that if Xernas is trying something, this may be where he's trying it."
What is it? Nifra and Farazdoon? What?
Mithra and Farazdoon. This was... You were told this a very long time ago, so I don't expect you as players to remember it. But in character, your knowledge would be that the goddess of magic, Mithra, died during the calamity fighting against an aberration called Farazdoon. And she was reincarnated as Mithras, who is the current goddess of magic.
So Mithra died there on that black circle in a fight against
Most
Farazdoon.
likely, yes.
Okay.
And your understanding of Farazdoon is he's basically like Xernas' predecessor.
Yeah.
How do you spell Farazdoon? Is it P-H-A-R?
Tharizdun.
Okay.
Tharizdun the Unchained is his full epithet. And he says, "I kind of wish I could be more help to you guys. I don't think it would be wise for me to even ask to come along with you. I think that feels like a very good way to get me killed." Once upon a time, I wanted to see Nexus for myself, but I think my days of wanderlust are behind me. I saw the other side of the continent. It was a harrowing experience. I'd like to stay at home, please.
Is he still scarred by that experience?
Oh, very much so, and he will be for the rest of his days.
Are we going to be scarred by the experience? Because I mean, Yolya was.
Yolya was scarred trying to get to the other side of the continent. You guys have a safe passage now. You can go through Dragon's Rest.
How far did Yolya get across?
She got across.
Sorry, I meant Virtue.
Oh, Virtue? He got captured here and then was brought more or less to the edge of the Absent Range. He wasn't brought very far inland into the continent,
Okay.
where Yolya finally found him. And he wasn't super lucid at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had to heal him.
Was a interesting situation.
Mm-hmm.
One of Alex's side quests.
So, I mean, as your dungeon master, I don't feel like there's any need to like obscure this. This is quite obviously the main quest. Go to Nexus, stop Xernas, save the day, happy ending for everyone. Any of the other things you're looking into will obviously be impactful. It may help you, it may change the world very significantly. It may give you a chance to look into and learn about other places in the world. But when you're ready and you don't have forever, this is what awaits you in Nexus. Obviously, to put you on the world map. Where's the world map? There we go. As you've seen it many a time. Currently in Citadel of the Moon. That's Idraf. That would be the human capital. And that is Nexus. On the opposite side of the continent. Yolya has seen a little bit of the surface of
Down there.
Yeah, near to the Valley of the Dead. And she's made some friends over there. My question to you is, like, what's your intention here? Do you want to, while you're here, like, look into some of the research projects that you mentioned earlier, or do you want to go home and look into hiring a communicator, or do you want to head to Dragon's Rest and look about moving over to the other side of the continent? What do you guys want to do?
So, what is our last things we've got to do other than Nexus? What else is there? There's still obviously learning the more information with fuck, why have I forgot? Why is my mind blanked?
Melora, the goddess of nature.
Yes, Melora. There's still stuff to do with Melora
Seraphine
and Seraphine.
your quest.
There's that stuff. What else is there?
You were going to look into breaking the Fortitude's back and rehabilitating him. You were asked by Francisco what has happened to O'Malley, since you haven't heard anything from him since last you know he was at the Battle of Farward.
Oh yeah, that's it. That was the other thing, is to basically tell O'Malley to go and see Francisco so he can get himself his next payday.
As far as you're aware, he probably survived that battle.
Yeah.
But you haven't heard of him since then. Which, I mean, he hasn't really had a reason to get in contact with you.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is all player driven. It's wherever you want to go, you will find something to do.
So yeah, what people's thoughts?
I'm just thinking. So, do we want to, like, we're Eldritch Mino's doing some research at the moment.
Hmm.
If we don't have any plans, like any immediate plans, we could time skip 2 weeks.
Well,
If you want to time skip another 2 weeks, you just time skipped 2 weeks.
Oh, did we? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think we should do, if we are waiting on whatever what is Eldritch Mino's studying again? What did you say? Gathering to do?
They were currently gathering information on what you might expect in Idraf.
Right, that's it.
Are any of the other cities trying to do any other types of research independent from what we've asked? It might be good to get some intel from them if possible.
I mean, you haven't asked anyone to like look into anything for you.
Yeah, in case they are doing it on their own back. Volition.
As far as you're aware, it wouldn't be like a magical research. Would be looking into like what's happening over there. You have a spy network that's looking into that for you.
Yeah.
In terms of like the Warlock Pack thing, you researching it would be you like going to other universities and like looking through their libraries because someone has probably figured out how to do it already. You know, Francisca is currently looking into how to break that curse for Zeltar, which is probably another one to add to your quest log.
I should make note of these.
So what's happening with Zeltar at the moment?
I mean, as far as you know, his previous master put some sort of curse on him so that he could never tell you any of her secrets. And that's why he was like avoiding Francisca, was because he might accidentally prompt her to let something slip, and then that would break his curse and kill him. So Francisca went back to her lair to like go do some wizard research on how you might get around that, like how you might break that curse.
Which mission was the cloud barrier removing?
That was Alex's gloves have a angel in them called Seraphine. She was sent down by the goddess Melora in order to break the cloud barrier. Melora, being the goddess of nature, untamed nature, is about the extent of your knowledge about her currently.
Oh my god, we have like 5 different options at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do all of them. These are optional content, but like, if you guys just want to go straight to Nexus, tell me, and that can be like, next session I can set stuff up for like what you're going to encounter on the way.
So the things that we mentioned before. So cloud barrier was one.
But it's what interests you as players. What do you want to do?
Cloud barrier.
I know that Rob has said many times
Try
throughout
and-
the campaign about wanting to remove the cloud barrier and fix the calamity.
Yeah, would helping Zeltar be a good objective as well?
Yeah.
Because he might be able to help us later on then, or she.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Francisca's lair is literally like almost directly underneath your home, so she's not going to be there for like a long time, or she's not going to be out of contact for long. If you want to like catch up with her and ask her about like what needs doing in order to fix this situation.
Just occurred to me that Ott's a globalist.
He's a globalist.
Yeah, he wants the entire kingdom to be able to, well, entire land, whatever you want to call
What, you want to unite it all under one empire?
Apparently.
Okay.
Apparently, that's what Otto wants to do, because he's talking about trade between the east and the west of the absent range.
I mean, that's not like uniting it all under one thing. That's about like, ending this war between them and bringing peace. Unless you want to,
Now he's
bring peace by
reconsidered. He's like, I
conquering
don't want
both of
peace.
those lands.
Peace was never an
If
option.
you want to be king, I mean, just tell Zernas you want to be king of the world.
Yeah.
He told you that he can give you the Citadel of the Moon.
You won't be king of the world for long.
No. Be the stupidest king of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever can hold it owns it.
Right, so Zoltar has a curse we can get rid of.
Mhm.
Cloud Barrier was the other.
Saving that prisoner that we've got on the island.
Oh yeah, the unbinding
Undoing
of
his curse.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that also ties into just in general learning how to break these pacts, because like it might
Maybe
not
that'd be
just
an easier
be
starting
him.
point then.
It might be like you may meet other members of the cult of Zernas who are like, this is a suicide cult and I can't get out now.
Should we awaken them to the knowledge of that?
Hmm.
I think that's a good option. Unbinding, removing Zernas's curse from our good friend Fortitude.
Fortitude.
Yeah.
Yes, your good friend Fortitude. He has many kind things to say to you.
Good friend consults notes. Fortitude.
I mean, notes are there for my terrible memory to help me remember things.
Ah, that's what they're there for.
Exactly.
Why I take notes. / rewatch Rob's VODs.
You're welcome. I think removing that curse would be beneficial to us, because then we have fewer people on Zernas's side.
As in breaking the pact, sorry.
Yeah, pact curse.
Yeah.
People like Fortitude.
Okay, so that's what Art votes for. Does anyone else have any ideas?
I'd say go for that as well, because then, like you said, that might benefit other people in the future as well. Once we know how to do that.
Because currently, if everyone on the west side of the island are pretty much under Zernas's control, then if we can find a way to break that control, there'll be more of a rebellion against him.
Yes, and we can weaken his power and his numbers.
Precisely. Divide and conquer.
Divide.
Okay, well, in that case, we can get started on that tonight. It's something that I already have some stuff prepared towards. So,
is everyone fine with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So this will begin with you guys having to research and learn more about how warlock pacts are formed and how you might potentially break one. You are aware that warlocks are just a thing that has existed for a very long time. It is just a way that people learn to get magic. Is sometimes they make deals with devils, sometimes they make deals with angels, sometimes they make deals with Zernas, and they get magical power from that. Given the fact that people can, make pacts with devils, there's very likely people who have tried to get out of their pacts before. And learning of such cases and like how they may have succeeded or failed is possibly a good way of starting your research on that. So where would you like to go in order to try and learn of this?
Church.
Say again, Sarah?
Church.
Church?
Church? Yeah.
I don't know. It's
It's a cult, so why not? I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's
I
to
mean-
go to church to break the. That's not. Wow,
You're
that came out
currently on the
terrible.
Citadel
You
of the
can't
Moon.
say that, Rob. You go to church.
Exactly. I know that came out completely wrong.
You are
He's had a
aware.
revelation.
Use the church to help us.
You are aware that there is a very large temple dedicated to the goddess of magic, Mistra, Mithras, who you previously have actually helped when you went to Fallen Dawn and cleaned up the vampire problem over there, who may be willing to help you with your research if you were going to look there. I think that's on the south end of the island. I think it's that building. Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess, it's called. It should be labeled C. Wherever that is.
It's in the top. It's in the north.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, there it is. So it is in the Open Stone Port, which is the civilian port. And for you guys, getting around the city is no issue. You can just hail a carriage. I'm not even going to charge you any money for it. At this point, you're heroes. A large man with a heavy accent stops the carriage in front of you and goes, "Oh, you're those virtuosos. For you, no charge. Where do you want to go?"
Take us to the Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess, please.
It seems like crazy
Got-
taxi. Is he going to be
Gone to
driving on the wrong
worship. I
side of the
see how
road?
it is. Would you like
Flies
some
yourself
spaghetti? And he pulls out a pot of spaghetti.
I hope if it didn't come
Spaghetti.
from his pocket, I'm not interested.
It was a pot that was in his pocket.
Nice.
Just a big Italian man.
Is it like
who's
pocket
driving
fluff
taxi.
mixed in with the spaghetti?
Lint, my favourite.
No, it was in
Yeah.
it was in like a sealed container. It's like,
Okay,
my wife made
okay.
it for my lunch, but she'd be really happy to know that I provide hospitality to a bunch of heroes.
Odd takes a scoopful because he wants to try some.
Yeah, it's pretty alright spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yes.
Send my regards to your
made.
wife. She makes a spicy meatball.
A spicy meatball. It's like, yeah, she's very famous for her spag bol. She, they call it Hermilda's famous family spaghetti bolognese.
You sound enthusiastic.
That's just how he speaks.
Oh.
And he will load you all into his carriage and take you to the Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess. Last time you were here, it had been set up as sort of a field hospital ward filled with injured people who were coming back from expeditions to Fallen Dawn. You'll be glad to know it's no longer full of people who are nursing incurable injuries. It is instead now a quite large and very opulent church. High ceilings and painted frescoes of the three administrative gods, Istus, who you know very well, Mortis, who you know very well, and their eldest sister, Mithras, who you know less well. You are aware that she is the goddess of magic, and you're aware that she had something to do with the calamity. At one point, you did a ritual to ask her some questions, and one of the priests, the clerics who had been treating the wounded so many months ago when you last came here, will recognize you and go, "Oh, you're the virtuosos. We actually have met before. Is there something I can do to help you all?"
So, we're hoping to try and find out a way in which you can cut out a warlock's pact, like how to break them from their pact.
He goes, okay. Interesting. I mean, Mithras is the goddess of magic, and warlocks, being arcane spellcasters, do have some connection to her. We do have a small library and collection of books that you're. I'm happy to open up to you if you'd like to have a look through it. I know that previously you have conducted a ritual to ask Mithras some questions, but if you want to do that, it's quite a difficult thing for us. We would have to ask you for a donation to cover the cost of materials for the ritual.
How much are you looking?
It would be to cast the commune spell, which will allow you to ask free yes or no questions. Doesn't specifically have to be yes or no, it can be like short answers directly to Mithras. Would cost you 700 gold.
God damn.
Yeah, speaking to God isn't cheap, dude.
Bruh.
Actually, speaking to God is free. Getting answers isn't cheap. But yeah, the clerics here can provide a commune ritual.
Can we get Erlan to use his charisma to lower the price?
That is, I will tell you, that is as low as the price will go.
Damn.
This isn't something that is like offered to the public at all. You guys are special.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Fate touched heroes who have saved the city. But like the ritual is expensive and very difficult.
Wow.
So they can't do it for cheap. For reference, I think commune is a 7th level spell. 5th level. Either way.
Damn.
Commune.
So pricey.
Yeah, I'll just learn it instead. We don't need them.
You're not a wizard.
Paladins can learn it. Sorcerers
I
could
can
if
be.
you were
I
a
have a
divine
wizard's
soul
tower.
sorcerer, but you are. Well, I mean, yeah, nothing's impossible for a wizard's tower. It
I'm
might
whatever
cost
I
you,
want to put my mind to.
It would cost you more than 700 gold to figure out a way of doing it. But then you would be
But I'd
able
have the
to do it
satisfaction of
yourself.
doing it myself.
Yeah.
Think of all the questions you can ask.
And imagine the business I could start.
That's
Anyway,
a very, very
entrepreneur
good way to
Arkin.
like get some sort of divine smiting put upon you. Is to set up a business where you ask God trivial questions.
Would you like to speak to God? Yep. 1,000 gold and you can ask God 3 trivial questions.
Mm-hmm.
Except the price goes up every time because God gets madder and madder at me.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, there is a small library which I will allow one of you to make an investigation check with advantage from the others assisting them in order to see if there's anything you can try and dig up.
Okay, who wants to roll that?
What do people's investigation?
Mine will be bad, so I will not. I will help.
I'll check
I'm
for
proficient.
Erlan, hang on.
I'm +7.
Yeah, you do it then.
We'll see what
1
Erlan.
second.
Erlan
I
might
will
be
see
better.
what
What about
Erlan
Sarah?
has. Investigation, Erlan has +6.
Sarah?
Hmm.
You have +7, Sarah.
Okay.
So, the same as Ott.
Yeah.
Which one of you wants to roll?
So wait, is it
Uh,
investigation to see what's in the room?
It's investigation to like look through this library and see if you can find any relevant information.
Oh, okay. Who's a better reader, do you reckon?
I skim read. IRL.
Okay. Exciting. Okay. Roll again for advantage.
Advantaging.
18.
18. Okay. Just give me 1 second.
Does your roll 20 like blank out the
It takes a
numbers?
second to load. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with an 18, what you find is several stories of basically it's stories, some of which you think are like fictionalized, some of which are like parts of like holy scripture, and some of which appear to be like third-hand accounts of people who've made bargains with various devils and have come to regret like the high price. Like they decide, oh, an eternity in hell probably isn't worth this mansion that I now live in, or the death of my worst enemy. and they come to the church seeking protection from Mithras. And a lot of these stories, which are like in like Holy Scripture, quite often they end either with like some sort of divine punishment if the person had been like a particularly bad sinner, or they end with miraculous divine intervention in which Mithras kills the devil which they had made a pact with and frees the person's soul. Looking through more of the historical records paints a bleaker picture. Again, these are all stories about people who've made pacts with devils, and it's various ways in which people have tried to like prick devils or tried to try and use loopholes, but because devils are very intelligent creatures and because they're well known for always putting the terms and conditions in their favor, it generally winds up very badly for these people. The one potential avenue you do find from these historical records is you find a story about a man sort of in the troubled century immediately after the calamity. There was an elven sage who made a pact with a devil for like more knowledge in order to try and protect the city, and what he ended up doing in order to weasel his way out of it was he actually made a pact with another entity. In this case, it was a fae, and because the two pacts conflicted, neither of the two could claim his soul. He essentially became a double warlock. So I think the like two solutions you find looking into the temple are make a new warlock pact with another entity, or get some divine intervention.
Okay.
That's
If you
not
would
a
like,
That's not a mass production cure for us.
No, it
it's
doesn't.
not like a
Neither of
potion
those seem
of
very
end
easy.
warlock pact that's very easy to do.
Oh, we could
but
ask Gareth to make us one.
Gareth, just make a world peace potion for me.
1 trillion gold.
We'll just skip forward a few millennia.
But I mean, like, that gives you two more things that you could now, like, try and research and learn more about elsewhere.
Well, what did you say the second method was?
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention.
And make an intelligence check for me. I'll allow any of you to do it.
How smart are we?
To pull on your memories, see what your characters remember about divine intervention.
Well,
Wow,
my last one
17
didn't
on
go
one's
well,
guild
but
in.
let's see.
Blur.
Oh my god, my intelligence is really bad today. What
Art,
is
on
wrong
the
with
other
me?
hand, is having a really good day.
He is.
Just
He's
a
sucked
really
all my
good memory
intelligence.
day today.
It's all that pasta he's been eating.
I swear, once he did that whisper to me to tell me that guy's name, he actually stole some of my IQ at the same time.
You're welcome.
Hierarchin's just gotten kind of lazy being the lord of a land.
Is that it? Yeah, yeah. I got
They tend
complacent.
to, don't they?
And, he's having the servants feed him grapes all day.
The easy life.
He keeps getting distracted by Chad wizardly flexing and doing push-ups in his office.
It's not grapes.
It's cheese.
It's cheese.
It's only 3, though.
And I only
Anyway.
rolled a 3 on that anyway. What rubbish cheese is this?
So what
Not even
Ott
Wensleydale.
remembers specifically about divine intervention is you actually considered using it once before in order to cure virtue. And maybe it was seeing virtue today that's refreshed your memory. It was when you were looking into various ways that you might cure him. Obviously, one of them, the one that you ended up going with, was getting Zeltar to do it. But one of the other things you potentially thought of was getting a particularly powerful cleric to do it. And obviously being fate touched of Istus, you guys have a strongest connection to her. She told you that she used to have, a very long time ago, a cleric who was powerful enough to call upon divine intervention, but they went missing on the coast trying to cross the Absent Range via the Southern Pass.
Hmm.
Now, that's not necessarily an avenue that you need to follow, but that is potentially a way that you could get access to divine intervention if you wanted to go that way. The other way that you currently know of is finding a way to make another pact. And the way that was specified in what you've read was by getting a powerful Fey creature in the Feywild to do it. Of course, you know that other creatures can create pacts. Powerful Celestials can do it. Obviously, devils can do it.
So what happens when they have two pacts? Are they actually cured, or are they just sort of in some sort of limbo between one and the other? From their point of
From
view,
the
are they...
story, what basically happened was the guy was put into some sort of limbo where, like, the laws of the Hells got so tied up in, like, the Feywild's weird and kind of whimsical laws that it all ended up in this, like, double jeopardy where it all just balanced one another out, and no one was able to claim the guy's soul. And so, because he wasn't paying anything, he then also didn't receive any warlock powers, so he was just rendered a normal elf again.
So we'd need to figure out the special recipe, and if the special recipe kind of could be applied to everyone, or if it's kind of on a per case basis.
Maybe something worth researching further into.
Okay.
I think that's as much as you can learn here.
Okay.
Obviously, there's lots of other places you can go to learn more things, to do further research, or you can spend 700 gold.
Do we have, aside from Virtue in Citadel of the Moon, any other friends with other libraries? Or, well, I suppose it's not libraries. They're libraries part of churches, aren't they?
I mean, obviously, in Phalanx, the Queen is technically the headmaster of the Celestial Archive.
And we are good friends with the Queen.
You are in a working relationship with the Queen.
She loves us.
You like one another well enough.
She's a great friend of mine.
Mm-hmm. She didn't kill Yolya when she snuck into her room that one time.
Rudo. I mean, yeah, should we go speak to the Queen? I mean, the more hands on deck, the better. Like, the more area we can cover to get research in. Like, she may already know without even having to, without us having to look through her archives.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes difficult to directly get a meeting with the Queen. Sometimes it's easy. It's generally, if there's something that she wants from you, it's easy to get in contact with her. If she doesn't particularly want anything from you at the moment, it's quite hard to get in contact with the Queen. From your experience.
How about we convince her that she needs something from us, and then ask her if she can do something for us?
What would you be willing to offer her?
I don't know. I mean, we've already made a, as you called it, a working friendship.
Mm-hmm. You have done jobs for her and been paid for it. I think that qualifies as a working relationship. And, like, She likes you guys. She's not just using you.
Political ties?
I mean, you are allied with Bulwark, which is, of course, her neighbouring state.
We have scones.
No, Virtue ate all of those.
What?
You'll have to take a short rest in order to bake some more.
So,
Gotcha.
when we're creating this Eto, guys, Eastern,
What?
Eto?
Eastern
Oh.
Treaty Organization.
NATO. Fuck you.
Once we get
Dragon
the Queen's
NATO.
approval, right? That's what we're going to go and speak to her about.
Imagine NATO. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are really not beating the Fantasy America allegations at the moment. Okay, you guys want to head to Phalanx then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going. Can we ask our friend at the portal to tell the people on the other side that we're going to make our way over there? Alt's foot still hurts from the
Yep.
arrow that landed in it.
James Spellman says, "Yep, just give me a minute. I'll send a message to my brother Reginald Spellman, who is currently manning the portal in Phalanx, and like he speaks in like some sort of code, which it's not thieves' cant, but it's like the nerd equivalent of it." Of like this shorthand in order to get across like a detailed message in a few words. And then says, all right, yeah, you guys are good to go whenever. Do you need to use the teleport circle, or are you guys going to teleport yourselves?
I mean, teleport circle's free, isn't it?
Nope.
Yeah.
No. What?
No?
Nope. It's 25 gold if you want to use a teleport circle.
Yeah, that's much cheap.
25 gold is nothing.
Hey, look over there.
I think the price changes every time. I don't think I've
700
ever
gold's
been
nothing.
consistent.
What's that over there?
I hand him 25 gold.
Okay, 25 gold, and
It's okay.
the circle flares to life. The magical runes corresponding to Phalanx all flare up across it, and you guys arrive in Phalanx. I believe you will arrive in the Magical University again, which is the Celestial Archive. And yeah, you arrive to crossbows pointed at you, but not shot at you this time. And several of the dwarven soldiers recognize you and salute you.
Ott says, "Oh well, this is an improvement."
Maybe if you told them that we're on our way, you wouldn't get shot all the time.
The,
I feel so welcomed here.
The communicator says, it's unusual to get a call from my brother about you guys. Normally, either you don't say you're coming, or I get some sort of random garbled nonsense from you, Mr. Ott.
Right.
I can't believe he would say that about your well thought out letters.
I know, how dare he? My
How
well
rude.
thought messages. Yeah.
One of the soldiers who've been saluting you says, is there anything we can help you with, Virtuosos?
We would like to speak to the Queen.
He looks like blankly at you and goes, I guard the teleportation circle. I thought like, oh, we need directions to wherever. I can get you a carriage that'll take you to the keep. Do you have like some sort of like official meeting set up with the Queen, or?
You forget who we are. Of
We
course
don't need one.
No. Oh god, we're gonna have you guys fucking fighting guards again. Please don't do this to me a second time in a row, man.
Is that the god saying that or the DM?
The DM.
Uh-oh.
Both.
Both.
Please do not attack the guards when they don't immediately let you through.
That sounds like a challenge.
You got the teleportation circle guard will get you a carriage, to send you to the Ascendant's Keep. The guards on the door look at you. One of them still has a black eye from the last time you came through,
Who's only last
and
week.
goes, "Please tell me you have an appointment this time."
No.
No.
Not
He
quite.
sighs and says,
This
"Okay,
isn't urgent, so therefore we don't mind waiting.
How long we got?
thank the gods. Okay, please wait here. I will send a message through." And he pulls up a enchanted rune written on a stone and casts the message cantrip. Obviously, you can't hear exactly what he says, kind of the thing of the spell, but eventually several guards come out to greet you and say, "Virtuosos, welcome back to the Ascendant's Keep. If you'd like to follow us, we can take you to one of the waiting rooms, and we've already sent word to the Queen that you would like to meet with her. Is there anything we can do to make your wait more comfortable?"
I think we need to
Can we have
fight
some
because
tea?
Round
we've
of tea,
never
yeah?
had a nice sit down.
A nice
Um,
sofa.
Right. The one of the guards will go off to inform the kitchens that you want tea and scones, and the other guard will lead you towards probably the same waiting room that you were put in last time. It's kind of this quite plush drawing room. There's a pool table. There's nice chairs. There's a few bookshelves with all fiction novels. There's a lot of really trashy isekai stories in there.
How long do they expect people to be waiting in this room?
Depends how busy the Queen is.
Should we get comfortable?
Do we
Or
know
just
how
barge
long
in?
we'll be waiting?
That's the question.
So eventually, one of the servants comes through with tea and scones and says, "Unfortunately, the Queen is currently in a meeting with the King of Bulwark, who has come for a visit."
Oh, excellent. We'll
Uh,
meet them both at once then.
Is the matter something urgent? I can pass on that this is very important, that you'd like to speak to both of them.
We need to start a line of research fairly urgently to make the best chances of us getting all the information we need in good time.
This butler looks at you and make an insight check for me.
Yoga's rubbing her temples at the stupidity of that entire sentence.
With a 19, he thinks that he's the idiot for not understanding why you need to speak to the Queen for this.
I interject and say, okay, we're looking to start a line of investigation and research into how to sever a pact with that has been created with Zanas.
Again, this butler with no magical knowledge says, "Okay, I will
Just relay that back to the
I will
Queen.
pass that along to the Queen. Enjoy the refreshments in the meantime." And he puts down the tray and scurries away. And about 20 minutes pass, and then the butler comes back and says, in fact, the butler will come back with a scholar from the Celestial Archive and say, "I was asked to introduce you to one of the scholars from the Celestial Archive. This is a let me get a name for him.
Random name generator.
I could do, but I actually already have a list of names. God damn it, I had one. Alaric Windrider. He is a elven exchange student originally, who has stayed on as a professor into arcane pacts, and he was asked by the Queen to assist you in whatever research you may need to do. Which the inference here is the Queen is essentially
He doesn't
saying,
want to speak
"Fuck
to
off,
us.
I'm busy. I'm a queen. If there's something urgent, come to me."
What's
I
the
mean,
normal...
it is only a side quest.
Wow. They
If
don't need
people's
to know that.
lives are in
Don't tell her
danger,
that.
come and tell me.
What's the formal process to get a meeting with the Queen?
Probably have your communicator from home send a spell like requesting a meeting with the Queen, and then like a meeting will be scheduled in several days' time.
We need to get a communicator, guys.
Yeah.
How much?
100 gold a month? Nah, 50 gold a month.
Okay.
So it's 25 gold every 2 weeks. Like, it's a well-paying job because they're expected to like be very knowledgeable and be like magically powerful enough to send a lot of sending spells, but
Who is this guy? Alaric? Range?
Alaric Windrunner, I think his name was.
You said
Wind
Wind
Rider?
Rider.
Windwalker.
He's
Wind
a
Rider, there we go.
Wind Waker. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alaric Windfarter.
Barter.
Oh,
No,
Alaric the
Windrunner.
Windy.
Wind
the
Rider.
windiest.
The
Alaric
windiest.
Wind Rider. And yeah,
How many times do you can say it?
he is an elven man. He looks very young on account of him being an elf, but you can assume he's at least a couple of centuries old. And he will address you all and go, "It's an honor to meet all of you, virtuosos. I believe you were looking into something to do with warlock pacts, yes?"
Yes, that's correct.
He says, "Well, okay. Do you need to do the research here? Could we return to the Celestial Archive?
guess.
I
guess,
have a collection of books that were written by my peers that may be of use to you." Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the best.
Great. So let's this sort of like quite like meek elven man will hail you a carriage, and he like basically says to the driver that like this is official business from the palace, and that he'll be like gives him like a like receipt that he'll be reimbursed with for the like being your carriage for the day, essentially for anywhere you need to go. And you are taken back to the Celestial Archives. And he says, "Is there anything in specific about Warlock pacts that you would like to look into?"
Ways in which they have been broken from those not a part of the pact. So, like someone else severing the pact rather than.
He like scratches his chin where like he doesn't have any stubble on account of like A, him being like an elf, and B, him being in the equivalent of like his early 20s. And he says, "Okay, well, off the top of my head, I can think of a couple of books." Yeah, and he like just sort of like lost in thought, like wanders into the library, and then like pops his head back in and is like, just take a seat at those desks. I'll bring some reading materials for you in a moment," and like goes off. And he will come back several minutes later with like this big stack of books, which he appears to be using some sort of levitation spell to make it so that he can actually carry them all. And some of it is like really dusty tomes of like historical records. Some of it is fictional stories. You can see that there is some like third-hand accounts of some of Age's adventures, where he's like overcome like evil cults and whatever. And he says, "Well, this is historical stuff. I've indexed them based on potential authenticity. Obviously, there's always going to be some bias. And I'm not 100% sure how relevant all of them will be. Is there any sort of particular pact you are here? We have quite a large selection of infernal pacts. We have some fey pacts. We only have a very small amount of people ever trying to break celestial pacts.
What kind of being is Silas again?
Technically, he would be considered a great old one.
I was going to say anything on the old ones on.
An alien pact. Okay. He looks through and like begins digging through the books and goes, well, I mean, that is by its nature a very unusual case. You'd probably be trying to look into any notes that would predate the calamity. He says we might have something. I'll go and see if I can find anything, but I wouldn't expect as much here. You're welcome to have a look through these in the meantime, and you can make an investigation check with disadvantage.
Can I ask him before he leaves? Oh.
Yeah, you can ask him before he leaves.
Does he know if, when breaking a pact, does the person have to be willing?
He says, not necessarily, no. When making a pact, the person doesn't necessarily have to be willing. It could be done through a certain level of coercion. The issue with breaking an unwilling pact is, with unwillingly breaking a pact isn't necessarily the difficulty or complexity of it. Not in any case of it's more difficult to do it if they're unwilling. More, the problem is preventing them from re-establishing the pact, I would expect.
Okay.
If they were unwilling. Obviously, any malevolent or perhaps benevolent entity that had once been willing to make a pact with a person, if that pact was suddenly severed, they may try to get in contact again in order to reform the pact. And with that, he will set off and he will try to find any pre-calamity records about warlocks. And I am going to make a roll to see if something like that exists. And I will do it above the table. And just a d20, and we're going to have to beat a 15.
No.
Unfortunately, he says, well, we have some old texts from before the calamity, but unfortunately, nothing pertaining to warlocks. If you'd like, there may be some useful information here which is transferable across pacts, maybe nothing specific to Great Old One or Alien pacts, but maybe some ways in which Warlock pacts are similar. I know that while the magics that you get access to do vary from pact to pact, there are certain spells which almost any Warlock can use. So likely there is some similarities between the pacts. But yeah, I mean, looking through these materials, the vast majority of people who have tried to break their pacts have been people who made pacts with devils. For obvious reasons. But if you would like to make an someone would like to make an investigation check, I will allow you to do so at a well, I would say disadvantage. With the others assisting you, it will just cancel out to a normal roll.
Okay. Well, shall I do an investigation this time since I think Sarah did last
Okay.
time?
Sure.
Yeah, investigation. Way 19.
Me, 19. Okay. So, looking into unwillingly breaking pacts, a lot of the like historical records of people trying to break pacts are generally willing. Unwillingly breaking them, the thing that you find the most applicable is, in fact, these kind of fictionalized or dramatized retellings of like myths about Aegis, who, of course, you know of. He is basically this world's equivalent of Hercules, and like amongst the many like adventures that he went on, some of them were against like evil devil worshipping cults, and in one of the stories he had one of his companions, a wizard whose name I actually have written down, give me a moment, Vitari, whip up a potion that temporarily was able to disrupt the warlock's magic and render them powerless for a period of about a month. And during that time, the party hunted this evil warlock down and brought him to justice. And then you, I think we're 19 actually, I'll give you a little bit more. You like begin to look into this wizard Vitari, and one discovery you make is that he is still alive and active as an adventurer. You've actually very nearly crossed paths with him before. He is a member of another party of Fate Touched out in the world who were in Far Ward called the Shellbreakers.
What? What fate touched?
Yeah, you
Oh
knew
yeah,
that there was more
they're
Fate
the other one.
Touched.
Yeah, they're the other ones in the north doing all their stuff.
hmm They gained their name when they killed a dragon turtle.
Dragon turtle.
Yeah.
We've killed a turtle, but not intentionally.
You've killed dragons, but not a dragon turtle.
We killed a crab.
Oh, it was a crab, yeah.
That was your ally. You didn't so much kill it as tell it to walk off a cliff.
It wasn't intentional.
He was vibing.
hmm
Where was he? What was his pub?
Vitari, he's not in a pub. He is a member of a party.
Oh no, you said he said
What
something
are,
about.
you, what are you on about?
What the fuck are you talking
Oh,
about?
I don't know. I'm trying to type and listen at the same time. I can only take
Yeah.
two things.
Pub.
There
I'm a
is
man, okay? I can only do one thing at a time.
a very old, unnaturally old dwarven wizard called Vitari, who is a
He's
member.
currently residing in a pub.
He is a member of the Shellbreakers, who the last you heard of them, they were at the Battle of Far Ward. And he was once a member of Aegis' party, alongside, of course, Aegis, and alongside Zeltar's previous master.
Damn, this guy's been getting around.
Yeah, he was Hercules, dude. He was you before you were here.
Can we have him on our team? Or can he have us on his team?
What, Aegis? He ascended to godhood.
No, Vitari.
Oh, maybe. He's already on a team. He's a part of the Shellbreakers.
Oh, that's what I heard. I thought it was a pub called Shellbreakers.
No.
Okay, team.
That's the name of their party. You guys are the Virtuosos, they're the Shellbreakers.
We should confuse them. We should make a pub somewhere called the Shellbreakers.
You could do, you're building a pub on your island.
Yes, we're going to do that when we get back.
Okay, you're going to name it the Shellbreakers.
I'm going to make a note of that, yes.
I'll make a note as well.
Call it the Shellbreakers suck. No Shellbreakers allowed.
Shellbreak shame.
That's a weird name for a pub.
No, that's the sign next to it. The Shellbreakers, no Shellbreakers allowed.
You're going to call it like the Shellbreakers Inn, and then like in brackets, no Shellbreakers allowed.
And then in brackets, Shellbreakers out.
Call it the red cockbreakers.
Okay.
Explain.
Because
where is your head at?
Because
today,
English
Rob?
pubs are called like the Red Lion or the
Okay.
yeah the
The
Cock
White
Hotel
Horse
and
or
the White
whatever, yeah.
Horse. Yeah, exactly. I'm just spinning that.
Mhm. Okay, so
what do you want to call it? The Red Shelcock Hotel.
that is yet again another
Anyway.
potential avenue by which
Another
you
side
could,
quest.
another way that you could potentially complete this side quest is you could speak to Vitari and ask him, hey, how did you make this potion? Can we make this potion? Can you make this potion for us? Obviously, you'll have to find him and convince him to help you.
You
Alternatively,
could invite
you've
him to the
got
pub for a meeting.
alternatively, you've got the option of divine intervention, or sorry, I've just hit my microphone. Or you've got the option of creating a new Warlock Pact, and you know that the potential things that could create a pact are like an Archfey, a powerful Celestial, or a Devil.
Everyone's expensive.
I'd
think
say
we
it
should
sounds
work
fun
out-
to try and meet this other party.
I was just going to say, I think the potion sounds like the best option.
And the potion probably sounds like the best and a scalable option as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put in drinking
It is,
supply.
of course, a temporary measure. This only took away the Warlock's power for about a month, according to the story.
But a
However,
month,
maybe Vitari will know more.
because you said that they disabled his ability for what? His control over them for a while. Was it control over them or him
So
in general?
basically, the story was that Aegis Party was hired to defeat like this evil cult, and the leader of this evil cult was a powerful warlock who worshipped, like, had a pact with Asmodeus, which is the Lord of the Nine Hells. And obviously, they weren't going to fuck around with the biggest devil out of all the devils. At the time, this was probably quite early in Age's career, so instead they created this potion that allowed them to disrupt the warlock's connection to Asmodeus, and as a result, the warlock lost all of his magic for about a month, and then they just like hunted him down and kicked his ass, and presumably killed him. God, I will not that music.
Play the battle music.
I actually did accidentally click on the battle music. Is the problem? Here we go.
So we know their last location is Farward.
Yeah, last known location.
He was battling in Farward.
They were battling
Yes.
at Farward, which incidentally, so was O'Malley. But while we're here, we could attempt to see if O'Malley has come home, because we know this is his hometown.
Yep. I mean, you know vaguely where he lives.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to his mom's house.
She gave us pie.
Uh-huh. He swore at you a lot.
Then he swore some more.
Mm-hmm. If you want to, while you're in town, you can check it out. I will not make you roleplay it out. What I will say is you probably go to where you met him the first time, which is the pub where mimics are banned. You get a message in Thieves' Cant from Jedry Zigzig, basically saying, "Yo, everything okay? What are you doing in my turf?" And you have to respond and be like, "No, we're not here for you. Don't worry. This isn't business." And asking the bartender will say that he hasn't returned ever since the Battle of Farward several weeks ago.
Interesting.
O'Malley hasn't.
No, he has not.
High chance he's still at Farward then.
Oh, I hope he's not dead. I'll be all sad. Who's going to speak Scottish at me?
Irish.
Irish.
It's a lie.
It would be kind of mean for me to kill Alex's character off screen.
Yeah. to Fireward. Wait, so also I was thinking of this earlier. Could we have taken our good friend's potion business as a teleportation from Citadel of the Moon to Phalanx?
No, he's only between Bulwark and Phalanx.
Oh, okay, that's all right. I thought. I also, yeah, I'll give you an
Technically,
extra 5.
what you could do is take an elevator from the Citadel of the Moon to Bulwark, and then Bulwark to Phalanx.
Yeah, nice tour of the cities. Yeah.
If you wanted to spend like 4 hours of travel in order to save you 25 gold.
Add up fast.
Mhm.
I was going to give Yoldia 5 gold for the trouble of teleporting us.
Okay. Erland does not give you 5 gold.
I'd beat 5 gold out of him.
Erland's like, frankly, I'm glad that we're not meeting O'Malley. That guy was a prick.
No, we're going to go see him. Let's walk.
I was just going to
You're
say,
gonna
we're going
walk
to
forward.
Fireward now.
It's like 5 months.
No, we're not. Goddamn.
So, I mean, I'll put you back on the world map, and this will be how we end the session. Because if we're going to go to Farwood, I'd like to make an actual thing of it. But that will give me some idea of where we're going, what we're going to do for next session. At the moment, there is a temporary teleportation circle set up in Farward. However, it's not always active, and the city is very much in disarray, so there isn't actually any way of like getting in contact with them to use them. You would have to pay about 100 gold in order to be able to use the circle, simply because right now it is currently very busy trying to get the reconstruction efforts all sorted. There's a lot of traffic through that circle, and it's not a full circle yet. The alternative would be taking a ship from Duskwatch, which is a, let's say, 4-day journey. It's 4 hexes. And you could take a ship, just like get passage on a ship that is currently carrying like materials for the reconstruction of Farward.
Sounds good to me. I think that's probably the best bet.
Okay.
I miss a little boat trip.
I love a little boat trip.
A lovely little boat trip. We haven't done one of them in a while.
No. Especially one where we haven't been ambushed. I hope we get ambushed.
Hey, well, you know, might happen. A lot of trade going through. It sounds like a good time for pirates.
What's that? The virtuosos? They're taking a boat from this place to this place on this day at this hour?
You are fated to always end up in the most interesting circumstances. Welcome to being fate touched. With that, I think that's a good time to end the session. It is almost 9 o'clock. I know it's slightly shorter than usual.
That's
but,
okay.
This was kind of open-ended, and I wanted to get an idea for what you guys wanted to do going forwards, like which thing you wanted to follow up on. So, in Farward, you are going to try and get in contact with the Shellbreakers, and specifically their Wizard Vitari, and you are going to look for Alex's other character, whose name eludes me at the moment. O'Malley Jones. Yeah. With the triumphant music playing. Good game, everyone. Thanks for coming online tonight.
Yeah, we're set up to tackle 2 side quests next time.
Mm-hmm. See how big they end up being, smiley face.
Oh no. I said you're
3
welcome,
years
but
later.
Mike was muted.
Before anyone runs away and disappears,